common assessment for the math. We've got it narrowed down, and we want to talk about um, find our problem, and let's analyze that and
Right. Well,
talk a little bit about
we
that.
took to a skills assessment that had to do with adding and subtracting the whole numbers,
Uh-huh.
and that was including the decimals to the hundredths place.
Okay.
And some of them did really good, and some of them, So, I think we can figure out what's going on with them.
Overall, did you feel that the data was good?
Yeah. Overall, there was always those high ones that I was real excited about, but then we've got a few of them
You've
that are.
always got those that
Yeah.
need a little bit of help.
Right.
Okay. So let's start out with talk about what successes did your students recently experience in the content area to build on. Like when they're coming from third grade to fourth grade,
Right.
what are the expectations?
In third grade, decimals is new for fourth grade. So in third grade, they come knowing how to add and subtract whole numbers.
Okay.
But we had to introduce the decimal, and then the confusion comes with whether they identify the tenths place and the hundredths place incorrectly.
Okay.
And so the ones that are having trouble, I'm thinking that's part of it. They don't know their place value for the tenths and the hundredths.
Because this is a new skill.
Right, and it's just memorizing the place value. And so I think if we have them stand up and do some modeling physically,
Yes.
stand on the tenths, stand on the hundredths, it'll help. And
Okay.
we'll do that in small group.
Okay.
Just there's just very few that are having trouble with that.
Okay. And tell me what specific standard.
The 4.4A.
Yes.
It's adding and subtracting whole numbers through the hundred. Adding and subtracting whole numbers and the decimals through the hundreds.
Okay. All right.
And we're doing it in problem solving.
Okay.
So it's sometimes on the problem solving. I think it's maybe reading the question carefully that they're having trouble with. That they're just not reading it carefully.
Right.
Right, and I noticed that.
And if you're low babies, if they struggle with reading,
Right.
that's even
Right.
going to throw a whole nother
Right.
issue into it.
Okay.
Okay.
So that's where I think we're struggling.
Okay. So we've talked about what they come to you knowing. So how can we help them master this standard?
Well, pulling out the models for those that we've already used the models in the classroom.
Lots of hands-on.
Right, pulling out the tenths and the hundredths and the
Okay.
whole numbers. So I think just in small groups, the ones that didn't quite get that, we need to pull that out.
Okay.
And do that some more.
All right. What do you think the highest leverage of misconception is?
Ooh, it's reading. They're not deconstructing the problem. For example, if they said they're buying 2 chairs and that each chair costs like $49.72,
Mm-hmm.
they're only putting $42.72 once instead of twice.
Right.
And then they buy a table, and so it's them reading and deconstructing the problem, I think.
So you'd say that's the highest leverage or the highest
Yes.
problem?
That's the highest problem.
Okay.
Right.
And is it mainly just the low kids that struggle with that, or could you say it's?
Well, some of the high kids, if they're not reading carefully, but most of them got that pretty good.
Okay. And then the low kids, that when you throw in the reading and the.
Right, just reading it carefully.
Yes.
And they're struggling just a little
Yes.
bit.
Okay. So let's talk for a minute about the unsuccessful students when they struggle with this standard. So what can we do to help them, even if they are having trouble reading the problem?
Right.
How do you think we could help them? Like, I know there's like a process, like steps and
Right.
processes.
We can help them break down the problem. So when we use like the strip diagrams where they have to write down 4279 and 4279 so they can see the picture
Mm-hmm.
that is written down there twice and not just once. and then adding that, I think.
Do you see a problem with them, like when they regroup, like lining it up, or?
Usually that's not a problem, but if it is, we can always use grid paper.
Okay,
So
okay,
we can use the grid paper to kind of solve that problem
okay,
if they are having trouble lining it up, because it's totally okay to do that.
okay. All right. So how are we going to reteach these students
Okay.
to get everybody kind of where they need to be? I mean, I know you're always going to have your low ones
Right.
that struggle all year long, but those bubble kids, how can we take them the next step up, do you think?
Well, I think if we just work with them in a small group and maybe pull out some manipulatives, maybe some play money to go with it, because it's always usually tested in the word problems, which it's usually money that they're struggling with. So if we could lay out maybe some play money or some models, and we'll draw out the picture
Okay,
and just work small group.
okay,
I think that will help.
okay. So how do you think, across the, like, reading and writing and math, how do you think we could help you, like, incorporate?
Oh, man. Well, I could talk to my partner and see if maybe, if I showed her how to, maybe we draw out things a lot and sketch it out in math, maybe if they come across a problem like that, they could help. Or pay attention to details like and,
Yes,
each,
yes.
those kind of words like that. Maybe show combining. I think just pay attention, like maybe have a discussion between
That might be a good thing, to do in the morning tutorials.
Oh, yeah.
Also,
That's a good idea. That's a good idea.
Because the reading could be enhanced, just taking it and breaking it apart
Right.
and looking for those keywords.
Yeah, we could even give them some word problems and see if they could.
Yep.
Maybe come up with a little story, because
Yeah.
these are so small. Maybe they could come up, the writing teacher could come up with a story and let them kind of expand on these small things. It's
And
an
then
idea.
that would go across all the content
Yeah,
areas,
that'd be
and
fun.
that
I
would
think
be
it would
good.
be fun.
So, I guess, when do you plan on, like, doing a reteach, or will this be ongoing, or
Problem solving is usually ongoing, but
throughout the whole?
yeah, we'll keep it going in the warm-ups in the morning, and then we'll throw in some on the homework, and then maybe I can do, well, if there's not one in the warm-ups, maybe then I can just say, hey, and let's just create one off the top of our
Yes.
head every morning,
Okay.
so that it becomes just routine,
Yeah,
that we're double checking.
and just,
The-
repetition
right, the
over and
pictures.
over and over.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, I appreciate your time today,
Okay.
and I'm here to help you do anything.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
And I'll talk to the other math teachers and see if they can also.
Perfect.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.